watching Rogers TV.
Hi everybody, welcome to Rogers Grey County. I'm Freddie Wallace and this is a new program on Rogers. It's called Living Well, Giving Well, and we'll get into the concept as we go along. And through the coming weeks we're going to meet all kinds of groups and organizations and charitable foundations as we talk about how you can help these programs and initiatives. As mentioned, I'm Fred Wallace along with my host Denise Reid. And Denise, let's jump right into it and meet our first guests on Living Well, Giving Well.
Our first guest this week, Stuart Reid, is from the Community Foundation Grey Bruce. Welcome, Stuart.
Thank you, Denise. Happy to be here.
And then we have Willard VanderPloeg, and he's from the Brightshores Hospital Foundations.
Morning. So let's talk about those organizations to start, and we'll start with you, Willard. Tell us about Brightshores Hospital Foundations.
Sure. Well, I'm a charitable giving advisor. That means I work away at legacy giving and endowment, and I do that on behalf of the 5 charitable foundations that raise money for the Brightshores health system.
And that was one of the questions that we were talking about before we even started today, was it's foundations plural. Tell us about the hospitals that are represented by the foundations and what's ahead in the future.
Sure. Well, Brightshores is a regional health system. It has hospitals in Lions Head, Wyerton, Saugeen Shores, Markdale, Meaford, and at the center of that is the regional center in Owen Sound. Recently opened its mental health and addictions treatment wellness center, which is exciting. So it's a regional hospital system in the sort of northern half of Grey and Bruce. Supported by 6 foundations, charitable foundations, donors. They're really central partners in hospital care in the region. Government doesn't pay for medical equipment or facility upgrades by and large, and so it really is up to our community to support their hospital, keep that sustainable, viable, help provide all of the services that we need locally. So it's about good health care being close to home.
Very good.
Yeah.
Stuart, how about you tell us about the Community Foundation?
Well, it's a wonderful institution, turning 30 years old this year. So we were established in 1994. When we were first incorporated, we were the Owen Sound and Area Community Foundation. And it's a wonderful concept. We take in donations and we work with endowed assets. So we never spend the capital, but we invest our assets in the global marketplace. And then with the earnings, we create grants, and we grant usually about between $800,000 and $1 million a year to local charities and not-for-profits, just to address all aspects of community life in Grey and Bruce. Right now we're managing about $22 million in endowed assets, so we continue to grow and to impact and have more influence on people's day-to-day lives, and it's a wonderful concept. We're going to talk today a little bit about how people and their families can make choices to benefit community, and we're sort of a mechanism that helps with those philanthropic gestures.
Yeah. How much growth have you seen, certainly in your time? You mentioned from 1994 over the course of 30 years. How much growth have you seen with Community Foundation Grey Bruce?
Well, I was told the very first year after incorporation, the granting was $2,000, and I think most of that came out of the pockets of our board of directors at the time. So last year we were over $850,000, and that's not including some of the federal dollars that we were distributing to support COVID relief after the pandemic too. So we've really grown exponentially, and that just continues to happen. We also are kind of a repository for community knowledge about well-being as well, and we do a lot of work with vital signs and our vital signs reports, which are kind of a report card of how we're doing in Grey Bruce on various aspects of well-being, like living standards, health and wellness, arts and culture, sports and recreation, the natural environment, all of those things. So that's a real talking point for us with donors about where they'd like to direct their dollars when we're distributing those grants too. So that's a big part of what we do now as well, is that kind of brokering knowledge about how we're doing in Grey Bruce. What are the hot points? What do we need to invest in to really make things better for more people?
So I want to know then, I mean, 2 great organizations or community for the community, how did Living Well, Giving Well, how did that idea come together, and how did you two guys get together on that?
Boy, well,
Who's going to bat first?
it's a bit of a journey, but Stuart, you can jump in and help me out. Our organizations are sponsors of something called the Willpower Campaign. That's a Canadian initiative. That's all about encouraging Canadians to give a gift to charity in their will or in their estate plan. And my foundations have been part of that for, since inception. And I think Community Foundation joined a couple of years ago. And there's some momentum for that project locally. There are now 13 charitable organizations across Grey Bruce that are sponsoring that project. And of course, Stuart and I collaborate a lot, and we reached out to the other organizations saying, how can we work together to promote this idea? This is good for all of us. And the organizations got together, we started meeting and talking about how to promote this big idea. And one thing COVID did was it sort of shut down a piece of our engagement with the community, with donors, in terms of talking about legacy giving and endowment, those sorts of ideas. And we thought, people are probably pretty comfortable, more comfortable again in public settings and so on. Maybe it's time to do some estate planning workshops on philanthropy, some public presentation. And as a group of organizations, we talked about what that might look like if we would do that together and brand that around the Willpower Campaign. That's going to take a significant amount of resources and time and energy and money. And I always prefer to look people in the eye, but if you go through all that work and end up with 25 or 30 people in a room, I mean, it's worthwhile, but it's a lot of work for that small group, and it's good information, but your impact's really limited.
Okay.
And for a few years I've thought, could we do a podcast or could we do something that good content? We want to convey some benefit on viewers and really help them think about their estate plan and philanthropy in their own context, right, in their own situation. But have that content be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to not only to our donors, to my donors, but to Stuart's and to all these other organizations. We thought we could really leverage that kind of content. And Rogers TV, it was just the perfect solution for us because they do all the production. That's what they're good at. Right. I'm good at talking about gifts in a will.
And we have a lot of charities collaborating. I mean, that's the magic of it, really. It's all these groups have come together, and we understand that amplifying this message, we all benefit, our community benefits. The more people think about giving back to community when they're making their planning, the better. And this idea for a show really draws upon a lot of the expertise around the table at our collaboration meetings too. We have really interesting organizations that can talk to the community about things that they can think about in their estate planning and their planning for their family, and have these intergenerational conversations which are so important about the wealth that a family gathers, what you're going to do with that and how you want to leave a legacy, how you want to impact the place that's nurtured you and your family over the years as well. So that's some of the things we'll be sharing during this program over the episodes to come.
Okay, so let me bomb you guys right off the bat. Sorry, Denise. You said there are 13 organizations participating in Living Well, Giving Well. Can you name them, or can you give us an example of some of the areas that we're looking to assist and looking to spotlight as we go along with Living Well, Giving Well on Rogers?
Well, we have arts and culture. We have the Georgian Bay Symphony. We have social services like the YMCA Grey Bruce.
Home and community support services.
The local hospice, Chapman House, as well as Huron Shores Hospice.
Yeah. Habitat for Humanity. The five Brightshores foundations. It's.
So there's 13 right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's great, when you look at giving to your community, caring for your community, and working as a group where you all have your expertise, maybe in your own organization, but to get the knowledge and get ideas from other organizations on how they reach people and how, because relationships in giving is extremely important, and how people care and want to be a part of whatever organization or group that they can give to.
I think that's true, Denise, and it's great to be able to talk to people about how to make a difference. And there's a lot of frustration in our community and concern about issues that we're facing around homelessness and addiction, mental wellness, food security, and brokering these conversations with people can make a difference today and for the future. And so these are wonderful initiatives that are really going to have benefit for generations to come in Grey and Bruce.
It's about leaving a legacy too, is it not, Willard? If I want to support a specific aspect, for example, Denise was heavily involved in a skating club, and that maybe her legacy is Denise Reid's contribution to the Owen Sound Skating Club. And I know we have people watching us in Kincardine and Midland, wherever you happen to be. You can leave an enduring image of what you were about.
I think it's a really exciting. It's an opportunity to touch the world in a way that you see best. I think there are lots of motivations for why you would make a gift in your estate plan. It might be about supporting the future of an organization that you've been supporting for years and years and years, or contrasting that, maybe an opportunity to support a cause that you've never been able to donate to in the past. But you leave your mark, or you remember a loved one in a really practical way, but it really is about helping, ensure the future work of an organization, or future impact of a charity's work in the community. Leave your community a better place.
We're hoping to demystify the philanthropic mechanism as well. There's also a lot of tax benefit and sense to making a gift in your will as well, in terms of capital gains and the tax receding. And I've heard it said again and again, the best estate is one where everything's already apportioned and given away. So that's, for families, it's really interesting to learn about how you can benefit your community without detracting from what you're leaving behind for your family as well. And so those are kind of some of the more intricate conversations we're going to have in this program too, I think, to kind of give people more information to really make some great decisions about their planning.
Well, and I think I think there's probably a lot of people, whether it be that they are trying to figure out how am I going to take care of my family, or how am I going to take care of my community. There's lots of ways to do that, but going, I don't really know how to do that. And in the coming weeks, we'll Andrew Drury, a lawyer, to help with that, or through just all different options we're going to be able to give you, as I say, opportunity to give to your community as well as your family.
Definitely. And that memorial aspect's really interesting too. Being able to consider that, your name might be associated with something, with a gift or an activity that's going to carry on long after. It's a real sense of pride and a real kind of a comfort sometimes for family, and a way to remember people and people's impact long after they're gone.
When we talk about a family's wealth, we're obviously saying family first. Look after your family first. But if you can find it in your heart and find it in your finances, there are various ways and various charities that you can leave an enduring image of yourself, but also support Living Well, Giving Well.
One of the messages in the context of the Willpower campaign is, start thinking about 1% of your estate. So just that small piece for your community. Certainly your priority is family and ensuring that they're well looked after. But even that 1%, what a difference that would make for community enterprise.
So let's say Denise has $1 million. I know you've got more than that. But let's just say,
boy.
I know you've got much more than that. But let's
Fred.
just say Denise has $1 million. 1% is $10,000. So what can $10,000 mean to a charity and an organization in our region?
Well, of course, it could be transformative. It depends on the charity and the kind of projects they're offering. But even a gift like that can have a tremendous impact. And we want people to understand. The scale is something that's kind of seductive. But even the small gifts can really make an impact. One of the resources we're also promoting is our Willpower website. And Denise, with her $1 million, can go on there. They have a little calculator built into the website where you can plug it in, and it could show you some of the tax incentives and benefits to $1 million gift in Ontario, because tax laws change from province to province. But we really want to bring people into the resources we're offering through willpower.ca. When you visit that site, just type in Grey Bruce on the search charities, and all of our collective comes up, and there's information on each of the organizations and a whole roster of tools and things that might help in that planning.
Along this line, who do we see first? If the Wallace family is looking to do something in this line, do I see a lawyer first? Do I see a professional accountant first? Do I see a money manager, or do I come and see the community foundation or the organization that I want to support? There's lots of avenues to travel here.
Yeah. I think the answer could be different depending on your situation. I'd probably encourage you to go see your advisors first.
Okay.
And they're the most aware of your situation. Experience over many years of time, has shown me almost everyone has something they need to deal, something specific in their circumstance they need to deal with. They have an issue by themselves. It's really difficult to get past that. It's intimidating. So one of my dreams for this show is we can demystify some of this stuff and get people talking to friends and family about their planning process and what they hope and dream about. And then, between their advisor and family and friends, they're going to come up with a really well-rounded, thoughtful plan that's going to serve their family and friends and hopefully some charities in a really good way. Yeah.
Well, I think that, families, the commonalities, and as they talk to each other and say, as parents, let's say, as we've talked to my husband and I have talked to our children about where our passions are. They know it, but sure. Where is the future going to go with, certainly the joke, are you going to take care of us, yeah, family first, I guess, but
yeah.
then you go with, where would we like to give in the community? Yeah. We've personally, I've been involved with both the organizations, the foundations and the community foundation, and once you get past the how do you do it, I don't know what to do, it really can be a rewarding feeling.
That's great, and I think that the simplicity of it is really important to broadcast as well. We hope some of the financial professionals and lawyers will watch the show too for some of the information. Maybe it's not top of mind when people go in to talk about writing their will, and perhaps you have to prompt that conversation with the professional you're dealing with, and ask questions about what are my options, and what would be the best plan, and how do I integrate a charitable gift into the larger picture of what I'm doing with my estate.
Well, do we talk enough as family and as friends and even colleagues about this kind of aspect of when we're gone and the legacy that we want to live and who we want to support going forward?
I think the quick answer to that is no.
Okay.
Money, I think these days we tend to treat money really private. We don't talk a lot about it. We don't talk a lot about what issues there might be there. Never seem to be able to get past it, even though maybe with some guidance, that there can be good conversations. And I think that's just a really healthy thing to do. You make estate plans to make it easy, seamless, to protect your family. I think you want those plans to be as good and thorough and well thought out as you can have them. And that takes conversation, right?
Yeah, and I think if it's spoken, it's understood. And I'll give you the example that my mother said to my sister and I, you're not going to like this, but I'm making X number of dollars per month to Knox Presbyterian Church. But it was my mother's money, and we certainly understood that this is what she wanted to do, so let's talk. And
I think there's the opportunity to, when we look at doesn't have to be a lot. I mean, monthly givings can turn into an amazing, down the line. And I think it's important for families to discuss that. And it's kind of interesting. Do you find that people, volunteering, we talk about giving and money, but there also is the legacy of the volunteering, okay? So do you find that people, when they're volunteering, that gets them connected to the organizations, which then gives them maybe the idea of the financial?
I think that's a way that people become engaged in their community, and I think loyalty comes up there, and that those are the relationships that really impact them. We also find in philanthropy, often a family, it's the charities they deal with last, like the hospital or a hospice, and that is top of mind with them, and they want to leave some benefit, almost like a thank you when they're doing their planning. And back to what you said, Fred, too. I think the family talking about it brings peace of mind, doesn't it? When you're all on the same page and you're all engaged in that decision making, and there are things that are important to say and to clarify, and then everybody has a bit more peace of mind coming away from it.
If you knew my mother, when she put her hand down, she was an elementary school teacher, but when she put her hand down, that was the end of the discussion, and it was clearly understood what we were doing. So from that standpoint, I was going to just kind of deviate here, because you were talking about the level of amount that people can give, but also groups can give, and I'll throw it right to you that your husband runs a golf tournament, and every year it generates money that is being pushed into the community foundation.
Yeah, well, thank you for mentioning that. My husband did start a golf tournament that was basically 4 guys going around to different golf, spots and doing that. And then it's now turned into a fundraising tournament, 64 players. And it's been an amazing opportunity for us as a family and for the people participating, because they feel good about where it's going, and it goes to the community foundation and is for children somehow in the community.
Our guests today are Willard VanderPloeg from Brightshores Hospital Foundation, along with Stuart Reid from Community Foundation Grey Bruce. We'll be back with more. We're going to look at a little video right now for Brightshores Health Systems in Owen Sound and area. This is Living Well, Giving Well on Rogers.
Hi, I am Amy McKinnon. I'm the CEO of the Brightshores Health System Owen Sound Foundation. Brightshores Health System Owen Sound Foundation supports the purchase of new and upgraded medical equipment, facility redevelopment, and staff training and education. Your support and investment in local healthcare not only ensures our physicians, nurses, and frontline workers have the tools they need to provide your care, but all staff across all departments. The impact is felt everywhere. You would be amazed. Having specialized equipment can result in being able to have specialized care right here in our community where your support system is, and that can really mean a lot when you're facing a medical issue. I'm so grateful for donor support. We are able to buy items such as more comfortable chairs for patients having chemotherapy or dialysis, simulation mannequins for staff to practice scenarios so they are confident and prepared, new medical imaging equipment such as ultrasounds and x-rays offering improved images, and new lab equipment for faster diagnosis and more accurate treatment. You're really making a big impact. The Owen Sound Hospital also offers regional services for patients right across Grey and Bruce, including oncology, MRIs, and knee and hip replacement surgeries, all made possible by caring donors. We also raise funds for the Wellness and Recovery Center, focusing on a groundbreaking recovery model for people with addiction, and the Research and Innovation Institute, focusing on improving healthcare outcomes in rural communities. With your support, these programs are expanded. Please support local healthcare by making a donation to the Brightshores Owen Sound Foundation today.
Everybody, welcome back to Rogers TV. I'm Fred Wallace along with Denise Reid, and this is the inaugural program of Living Well, Giving Well. Denise, we're going to move to the second segment.
Yeah, I think we've had a great first segment and trying to give you an idea of what the show's going to be about, and we really want you to be a part of that. And if there's questions you want to, or comments that you want to make, feel free to send them to livingwellgivingwell@rogers.com. We'd love to hear from you, and we will be able to answer those at our next episode or whatever. We'll try and get the experts to give us the answers to that, and we'd love to have being interactive.
And our guests today are Stuart Reid from Community Foundation Grey Bruce and Willard VanderPloeg representing Brightshores Hospitals Foundations. If people want to get in contact with you as well to talk about the things that we've talked about, let's start with you, Willard. How do they make contact?
Sure. Well, they can give us a call. For me, best to call the Owen Sound Regional Hospital Foundation, and that's 519-372-3925. And you can email me, wvanderploeg@brightshores.ca.
Stuart.
Awesome. Well, we have a website too, communityfoundationgraybruce.com. Our phone number in Owen Sound, we're at 519-371-7203. And I'll reinforce the willpower.ca. If you use that site and type in Grey Bruce, you can search for our charities. We all have pages on that site with a lot of information about contact and more resources if you're looking for a little bit of a deeper dive into some of the things we talked about today.
As we get towards the conclusion of show number one, let's ask about the goals and the concept and the goals for Living Well, Giving Well.
Well, I'm excited that we're recording our first show today.
Yeah.
It's been a dream of mine for a couple of years to do a program like this. And I think really my number one goal is to have making a gift in your will and your estate plan, have the people of Grey Bruce just think that that's a natural thing to do, something they want to do in that context. And if there's a second goal, we have a really broad range of topics, all things estate, financial planning, personal planning issues, things that people I think wrestle with in their day-to-day life. Mm-hmm. We want to help them have those conversations and answer some of those questions and get them to a point where they have a really good plan in place.
Stuart.
I agree with all of that. It sounds great.
You're like Mickey Mantle. That's what he said.
And I love what Denise was talking to about volunteering as well. And we all have the power to give, and so talking about getting engaged and giving back to community, we're all going to be much better for forging these conversations together.
Well, Willard and Stuart, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been a great maiden voyage.
We did it. It's great. And I think next week we're having Andrew Jury come as our guest, and he's going to talk about wills. And my understanding is, about 50% of people, only 50% have a will.
Right.
And some are made it how many years ago? And so we need to update that. So Andrew, we're looking forward to him coming with that information.
And in the weeks ahead, we're going to have Karina Elliott, I believe, is going to join us, Lori Fox, and we'll talk about ways that they can assist. Once again, we want to thank everybody for joining us on Living Well, Giving Well on Rogers TV.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
October 5th, 2014, my daughter was hit by a train. She was walking along the sides of the tracks, and it shattered her world.
I've been fighting depression for years, and some days are harder than others. Your prayers are helping me find peace and a glimmer of hope.